this Township Planning Commission meeting this June 2nd, regular meeting. At this time, we are waiting one more member, so we're just going to get a few items presented to us. Moving on forward to the financial report. Christine, we're going ahead, so we're right there.
Okay, for the financial report in the month of April, we had a net gain of 9,499. That puts our year-to-date gain at 46,213. Just a heads up though, June, we do expect it to drop for the one-time bonuses that will go out to staff in the month of June. So that may go down some. Also, the error that was in last month's financial report that we didn't have the receivables clearing properly has been remedied. So our unrestricted cash is now back where we anticipated that it was supposed to be at 603,000, and that's 6.13 months of operating. So we're back to where we knew we were, but with that error to report that. That's all I have with the financial report for April.
Great, sounds good. We now have a quorum, so let's go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Councilor King.
Here.
Commissioner Solis. Director Galloway.
Yes,
Roll call.
here. Yes.
Supervisor Andrews.
Present.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Ms. Louisa. Here. Supervisor Barlow. Supervisor Jones. Ms. Bishop. Here. Supervisor Aaron. Supervisor Rush.
Here. All right, moving on to matters from the public. Are there any members here to speak from the public? Any written, any alert? I see it. At this time, if there's nobody who wishes to speak, we now close the public comment section, moving over to the presentations of that. Lori.
Thank you very much. I'm Lori Olshouse. I'm the director of the body programs here at the Counties Planning Commission. I just have a few slides, this slide. Just wanted to provide you with an update of where we are today on the project and then what the next steps are. So if you want to go ahead and move the slide. All right. Sure. So I just wanted to mention that the body program, many of you in the jurisdictions may have heard of the RISE project. This is a project by Firefly. This map is their map that I'm sharing from them today. And you can see on this map how many counties are involved. It's a huge project, 13 counties. And you can see the different types of funding and the different type of activities that are going to go on in each county. I brought your attention to the light blue, which is the body project area. That is the area that this body project, this funding, this project of leverage and everyone working together will support. And so this is a project, a FUMA project, the Thomas Jefferson Planning District will be taking the lead on. So I just wanted to show it to you as the full picture. I actually really enjoy this map. I like it a lot because it does show how large this project is and how important it is to the wider area around the planning commission area. So this is just a few numbers. The grant that we're receiving from the state is $79 million. The most important thing is the matching funding. The match is so large, $209 million is matching this grant. The majority of the match is coming from the private sector, Firefly, Dominion, and Rappahannock. And then each county, 13 counties have all pledged match to also support the project. So it's very, and there's additionally to the match, there's leverage. So it's very strongly leveraged and a very exciting project. This is just a little bit of the timeline. You saw this last month. We started in December, when the grant was awarded. There are a lot of pre-contract activities that will be part of this grant, including going into contracts with all 13 of the counties. You can see that we started the pre-contract activities in January. We also did the PPA, PPA process. We're involved in April, and it was completed in May, and that provided us the opportunity to initiate contract processes with all of our partners. That's currently what we're doing. We're involved with all the 13 counties, working with them to all 203 party agreement with us, Firefly, in each county. We're also going to do a agreement with the HCD and also with the Firefly. Later on today, we'll be looking at some resolutions related to these contracts. And then by July, we'll have over 3 contract activities complete. And the HCD will do the project to implement the So the next steps. This evening, the commission will adopt the resolution authorizing, we're asking you to adopt the resolution authorizing approval of the broadband grant contracts. This is important for Christine to be able to sign all those contracts and the commission so that we can move forward in our timeline. Counties, Firefly, and TJPDC will enter the 3-party contracts. Hopefully by July, we'll enter into a contract with Firefly. We'll also enter into a contract with the HCD. We'll complete our activities, and we'll sign the contract with TJPDC. We'll sign the contract with the HCD. So this is all the activity. The month of June is going to be very busy. So this is what we're doing. So I just wanted to give you a quick update and see if you have any questions.
Any questions at this time for Lori?
So I can't find it, but I saw in there somewhere about reporting, which I think is just the grant reporting, the requirements to report the process, progress on the grant. How does the status updates or this come back with regular updates to us about how it's progressing?
Yeah, we'll be bringing updates to you every month in the executive director's report, and then also as a part of the communications plan for the whole project, we'll have presentations to the commission on regular intervals so that you guys will be apprised of everything at the regional, looking at the whole project versus the presentations that you'll get in your individual jurisdictions about your county's progress.
Awesome.
Sure. Any other questions for Lori at this time? Hearing none, thank you so much, Lori. Appreciate your pathway with internet, $200 billion. It's a lot of money. All right, moving on to the consent agenda, we've already got our monthly financial report presented to us. Moving first to the minutes, are there any questions, edits that are necessary? Hearing none, is the chair's request that we approve the consent agenda as presented. We have a motion from Ms. Bishop. Do we have support? Support from Mr. Andrews. If we go ahead and do a quick roll call vote.
Payne,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Andrews.
Yeah.
Supervisor Martin.
Same.
Mr. Smith. Ms. Wilkinson. Supervisor Barlow. Ms. Bishop.
Aye.
Supervisor Perry. And Supervisor Rutherford.
Chair votes aye. Thank you so much. Moving on to new business, regional housing partnership appointments. Christine.
Okay, the Regional Housing Partnership has an advisory board. It's 21 members. 8 of those members are appointed by the TJPDC. The other ones are appointed by the organization. So for example, the UBA appoints their own member rather than the PDC appointing it. We have one appointment that we need to make. I did include in your packet the members, the 21 members, and I've highlighted the 5 changes. 4 of those we do not need to vote on. The one that we need to vote on is the TJPDC appointment for the citizen or resident representative in the urban area. And we'd like to recommend Shelby Edwards. She is the executive director of the Public Housing Association of Residents. So she would be sitting as a voting member on the RHP.
Great, sounds good. So we need a motion to the effect to appoint Shelby Edwards from the Public Housing Association of Residents to the Thomas Jefferson Planning District appointed citizen. So we have a motion from Mr. Payne. Do we have support? Second from Mr. Galloway. Let's just do a roll call activation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
She's on the committee with that.
Yeah, she has been sitting in, we just needed the permission to make the official appointment.
She was a voting member.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing with its reason.
Correct. We're just making sure through the commission that we go through the process of making that official appointment.
Thank you so much. Moving on to Juneteenth approval.
All right, for Juneteenth, following the lead of the federal government, state of Virginia, and all the local governments in our region, we are going to observe Juneteenth since it is a holiday that falls on a Sunday. TJPDC staff will be observing that on a Monday. We do anticipate officially incorporating this into our employee handbook. There are several revisions we would like to bring before the commission, so we're going to hold that revision until later in the fall. Until then, we would just like to ask the commission to make a motion to approve TJPDC observance of Juneteenth.
Got it. Do we have a motion to that effect? Motion from Mr. Andrews. Do we have support? Second from Ms. Bishop. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we will do the vote by acclamation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any objections, abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to resolutions. Well, the first one here is resolutions to elect TJPDC officers for FY '23. That will start in what month for them? Would be
It officially, they become chair July 1 and will preside in the first meeting in August.
great. We have a slate presented today. Ned Galloway for chair, Tony O'Brien for vice chair, Keith Smith for treasurer, Christine Jacobs for secretary. Do we have a motion to approve this slate as presented?
Second.
Motion from Ms. Wilkinson. Do we have support? Second from Mr. Andrews. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, let's do another vote by acclamation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Any further discussion after that? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. We're doing great, guys. Moving on to the smart scale resolutions, item number 1, staff memo. We do have a couple edits to be had on resolution 3 in additional resolution for Albemarle. Christine, at this time, we can start with staff memo.
Absolutely. In your packet was a detailed memo including all of the projects that will be submitted within the planning district commission, other than the, oh, you want to pull up the actual the list? Yeah. That is on page 16 of the packet. And so that memo details each of those projects. For the first resolution, that is titled 6B2. That is a resolution to support the TJPDC smart scale applications. There are no amendments. Actually, that's the one that does have amendments. Got it. We're going to pull that up in front of you all to show you what those amendments are. So the TJPDC is able to submit 4 applications. Sorry, hold on. We pull up the right one. That's the wrong one in front of you. There we go. TJPDC is able to submit 4 applications. We reach out each year to all 6 of our local governments, asking if they have any projects that they need support with, and or do they have more projects than their 4 slots, and the PDC has 4 slots that they can fill. And so this year, the only local government that had beyond their 4 slots was Albemarle. So all of the PDC applications this year are in Albemarle. Those projects are listed in that resolution. We certainly are happy to either give further detail on them or answer any questions.
And this is in reference to resolution endorsing the submission of smart scale applications.
By the Thomas Jefferson Planning District.
Okay.
Yes, that's the one we're looking at.
Any further questions for Christine at this time?
I do have.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be, nice if we could, the VDOT link to see diagrams of these things. I tried to do that today. And really, the only one I was successful digging up was the one on 29. J cuts. But the ones on 33, I could not find on the VDOT site. So they're smart scale site. So if we could have a link that we could click and go to the right place,
Well, they're still in pre-application.
So they,
So they wouldn't be on VDOT site yet. No, we'll
There.
submit, we've already submitted pre-applications.
So the,
They review pre-applications and then we submit official applications in the fall. They won't be put up on the VDOT site until they are awarded.
okay, so is there any way to see a diagram of these things at this phase, at this point?
Yes, are there specific ones? We have images of any of them if you want us to pull them up. So are there specific ones that you would like us to look at?
Well, I'd like to be able, I don't want to make everybody sit through, but I would love to see the one for Greene County, which I cannot find anywhere.
Mr. Jacobs, we have areas over there, we don't have that. There's a possibility, reach out to the staff to try to get the project worked out. Presentation, but we just have areas over there.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay, well, that was information, that I can't see something that doesn't exist. So I would be very interested to see.
So Ms. Wilkinson, after we follow up with that, would you like us to send you directly via email those images of these projects?
Christina, I'm a little confused. What's on the screen is all more what we have in our hands is everybody else.
It's the-
Mr.
That is a third one that's being added. The one that you're looking
That's
at is not the same thing. There's 3 different resolutions. 2 of them are in the packet. We're adding that resolution again.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are currently still discussing the township's and planning districts.
Yes, of course, PDC slots.
Any further discussion on that or questions for staff?
So the amendment that I heard you say, is that to the new, this is the,
The amendment is gonna come in the second one that I'm gonna talk about next. And then that is the third edition. There are no changes to this first one that are the PDC applications.
All right, any other questions? If we could get a motion to approve the resolution endorsing the submission of smart scale applications requesting transportation funding by the TJPDC as presented.
so
Motion for Mr. Galloway, is there a second? Second, Mr. O'Brien, is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll do another vote by acclamation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any objections, abstentions? Hearing none, let the record show that the resolution passed unanimously. Moving on to the next one, which will have an amendment.
Yes.
Christine.
The next one is the one that has all of the localities. It is not the new one that you were handed. It's the one that was in your packet and has all of the localities. There are 2 amendments that need to be made. There are 2 additional projects that need to be added to the list. In Fluvanna County, there is now going to be a number 3. There is a project that was submitted at Route 53 at Martin Kings Road at Route 16 intersection. It is for intersection improvements. That is the first amendment.
Christine, can you tell me what page? in the package?
Yes, I can. This is on page 16 and 17. Did that get you there, Supervisor Galvin?
It's on screen.
17, there it is.
And Fluvanna on page 16 of my packet has 3. So
Yes, that is correct. The one that I think is not listed, Route 53, Martin Kings Road.
it's adding as a forefront.
No, sir, it's removing,
Turkey Center.
South
So
Boston.
South Boston.
So
Yes.
one goes away and one eventually is replacing.
yes, sir, and then the Troy Road. Route 15 intersection is correct. Kentucky South Trail Route. Not on the list.
Are there any questions? I know that was a last minute revision. There is one other revision that we need to look at in this one. Under Nelson County projects. Ryan, do you want to talk about the change? Is it a change to
Yes, Ms. Davis, number one in the handout that you have received from the Cascade, Route 29 and Front Street civilized architect intersection. And following that, number two and number three, those are the update projects that Nelson County will. And those number two and number three may be different from what is.
Okay, I'm seeing all three, so that, I think the one that made it into the packet was the updated one. I'm not seeing any, are you guys seeing any changes to those three? All right, I think you gave me the updated one then.
That's correct.
So it's just the one amended to Fluvanna County.
So,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
can we go back to Nelson County?
Are they different?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
it was, I'm sorry. My apologies.
This one,
yeah.
Very good.
I think I can.
Thank you guys. Go for it.
So on the one in the packet, the US 29 Route 653, that is not a smart scale application that was submitted this round. That was from the previous round. So it's been replaced with our third application at Route 29 Front Street signalized ARPA. Additionally, the project descriptions were updated to what was submitted. So those are. Yeah. amendments.
Yes, that doesn't say that makes sense, because Dave's not really that one. Okay. I only have a little bit of anxiety about the Route 29 Front Street, but for the sake of accomplishing, I'll have my comments at the regular course of meeting.
And one of the reasons we bring these resolutions so early is because we don't have a July meeting.
Right.
And they're due before the August meeting. So we go ahead and put them early in the PDC for you all to approve. If changes are made or an application is not submitted, it won't hurt the local government for our resolution if a project is not submitted.
Great. All right, wonderful.
And then add
Yeah,
it. Now to the next one.
do you want to do a motion on this?
Yeah, probably.
Motion on this, and then we do your addition? So can we get a motion for resolution endorsing the submission of smart scale applications requesting transportation funding by Fluvanna, Louisa, Greene, Nelson as amended? We have a motion from Ms. Bishop, and we have support from Mr. Andrews. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, let's do a vote by acclamation. All those in favor say aye. Any opposition, abstentions? Hearing none, let the record show that the vote was unanimous. Now, we have an additional resolution, Christine.
The third resolution that is paper copy in front of you and for participants online, Ms. Emmerich will bring it up. This third application is for the projects that Albemarle County is submitting with Albemarle County slots that are not in the MPO. If they are within the MPO, then the resolution went before the MPO for the city and county projects. So these are the 4 Albemarle County projects, and your staff asked us to get a resolution of support from you all. So it is now before you, Ryan is passing it out.
Amol, you got questions? You don't have any? All right, are there any other questions for staff in reference to this additional one for Albemarle? Hearing none, can we get a motion to approve the resolution endorsing the submission of smart scale applications for Albemarle? So we have a motion from Mr. O'Brien. Is there support? Sorry. Second from Mr. Galloway. Is there any more discussion? Or abstentions or objections? Hearing none, let's do a vote by acclamation again. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any objections? Abstentions? None? Great. Vote show that it was unanimous. Moving on to Batty resolution. Resolution to approve Batty broadband grant contracts. Of course, we have lots of money to move around, and our bylaws aren't necessarily matching when we get $108 million. So Christine, take it away.
As Lori presented to you all earlier, we're at the stage of the contract negotiations. Per the public-private education that we passed previously, it says that any contracts will be approved by the commission. So what we're asking for tonight is authorization for the executive director to negotiate those. There will be several different contracts that we'll need to sign. The first one will be with CVEC Firefly as the partner. The next one will be 3-party agreements with each of the 13 participating jurisdictions or broadband authorities. And then once we have all of the contract negotiation items completed, which includes those 14 contracts that I just mentioned, we will then have to undergo contract with DHCD to begin the grant process. So in your packet, I did give you guys a 2 different contracts that are in as final form as we could get them. The DHCD contract, we don't anticipate any changes. They told us that that is the contract that we will be executing. The other one is a draft 3-party agreement. We have already ratified that contract with at least one jurisdiction, Albemarle, but it is in draft form because each local government, as their legal counsel or as their staff looks at it, there may be small revisions, but there shouldn't be anything substantive in change. And so what we're asking for you all tonight is to approve a resolution that has several things within it. One is to authorize the executive director to be able to negotiate and ratify contracts that are necessary for us to be a grant administrator. The second is to authorize the executive director to be able to make project-related payments that are in excess of $100,000. Our current bylaws have a limit of $100,000 payment that those need to come before the commission. Those bylaws maybe weren't considering that we would be doing an $80 million project. And so we would like to ask, rather than bringing individual payments back to the commission, that you authorize the executive director to make those, with those payments still having a second signature by the treasurer of the commission. So those still will be overseen by the treasurer. And then the third thing is all other things necessary in order to get us to contract so that we can begin this process.
Great. And that's all in one resolution, correct?
Yes, that is all within the same resolution. So the resolution that is in your packet, the only revision to that resolution is language, and I'll read you exactly the language that I have, is to include to make project-related payments in excess of $100,000. Other than that, the resolution is as is.
All right, so we do, this resolution is amended. And of course, I do concur with Christine, we can't go into these projects without having the ability for our staff to go and engage in higher dollar transactions. And I do want to emphasize this is project specific. This will not impact any other operation in Thomas Jefferson Planning District, just for Patty. So,
I can also add that it is also payments that are approved within the annual budget. So right now, within the annual budget, we have a certain amount that we anticipate passing through your body. These are the payments that are within that budgeted amount for the year. And if that amount were to change, if the project were to move faster or slow down and that amount needed to change, that would come back to you in your amended budget in the spring.
gotcha. All right, is there any questions for staff at this time? Hearing none, chair's suggestion that we approve resolution to approve Valley Broadband grant contracts as amended, which includes the addition of the $100,000 transaction. We have a motion from Ms. Wilkinson. Is there any support? Second from Ms. Bishop. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll do another go back. Commission, let's in favor say aye. Any opposition, abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Moving on to, is that all we're good with that? So moving on to executive director's report, Christine.
Okay, first executive director report, and this one didn't make it into the packet, but we're very excited. Our director of planning and transportation, Sandy Chapel, has had her baby. She is doing very well, healthy little boy. She, mom and dad, baby, everybody's doing wonderful. So I just want to share that with you all.
Awesome.
For some housing updates, we had a staff member attend a conference on Housing X, looking at innovative housing strategies all the way down to the different materials that folks are using for printing. Found it to be a really valuable conference. We're excited to do that one again. Also, Keith Smith, as the chair of the Regional Housing Partnership, was also there doing one of their, I think it was 6-minute, 6 slides and 6-minute like fast presentations on behalf of the RHP, talking about the regional housing work that's happening here. So we were really grateful for him to make that trip down for a 6-minute presentation. The Regional Housing Partnership is interested in holding an in-person housing summit in December of 2022, assuming that COVID allows us to still do so. We did apply for a $15,000 Virginia Housing Events Grant to help sponsor the event. We were awarded that grant. It'll now be between now and December that we have to raise additional funds, likely in the neighborhood of $35,000 in order to make the event standalone. So that's the rental space of the Omni, that's the food that we would serve, that's making sure that we can have scholarships for folks that can't afford to attend so that all of the community is welcome at that event. So we will be working in the immediate future to begin to pin down all of the necessary details in order to throw that conference.
I want to add something to the board. Obviously, Nelson County has been supportive of this conference with the affordable housing being a very big issue. I do encourage that your boards do take this up and potentially contribute, at least $1,000. Would be great. I'm sure if we will ask the counties. That's also.
We'll also be looking for some private sector contributions,
Correct.
looking for other sponsorships to see if we can get the price down. Okay, this one is not my favorite news of the night, with USDA for our housing preservation grant that we receive on an annual cycle. Again, this year, their NOFO came out too late to get it into this meeting. As of yesterday, they had just determined the eligible amount that we can apply for, which didn't give staff enough time to prepare a draft plan. And the application is due before our August meeting. And so what I'm gonna request of the commission is for us to hold a special session for that one item. Since we are still technically under the city's emergency ordinance, we can agree to hold that meeting electronically since it will likely be very short. I would like to recommend that we hold that meeting on Thursday, November 23rd. I will send out to you all a poll to make sure that we can have a quorum available on that.
November or June?
No, did I say June?
You said November.
Did. Session in November for that. We need to just a couple years.
I was like, yeah. What time on the?
I'm gonna send a poll, because I'm gonna try to pick a time that I can get a quorum.
All right.
So just so you all know, you will be getting a request from me for a special session as soon as we have all of the packet, the public hearing, the notice put out, as soon as we have everything that we need. We'll get you all together for a quick review, intergovernmental review that is required for the application.
Great.
Let's see, we'll jump ahead to some transportation. I believe I've shared this with you the last couple meetings, but the Commonwealth Transportation Board's draft SIP, the 6-year improvement plan, does have funding in it currently for our transit governance study, as well as the Albemarle transit expansion pilot for microtransit that we worked on the grant, the study and the grant application. So we're very excited to be paying attention in June to see if they approve that budget so that we can move forward on our regional planning initiatives. Public meeting for the North 29 corridor study was held. The second one was requested. So there will be another public meeting on that one next Thursday. VDOT has put out information and I can share. We didn't have it in time for this executive director's report, but we can share with you guys a link to that for anybody interested in participating. And then the other two updates, I'll leave for you all to read. They're not as critical as the other ones that I gave. So that's it from my report.
Great, thank you so much, Christine. Moving on, wow, great time, guys. Great time for the first time in person. Moving on to the roundtable section of our agenda. Who's had the most excitement this week? Jim, we're gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay. So, let's see, reconstitution, we're going back September 1st with all of our, not obviously the board supervisors, the planning commission are now already in hybrid meetings, but our other boards will, some of them will be, the tier 2 will be hybrid, and tier 3 will have in-person meetings starting September 1st. So that's our plan. We just had a meeting yesterday, where we went through on our comprehensive plan and looked at growth management policy, which was interesting, because they basically took all the land and said, if the, among other things, if the value of the structure is less than the value of the property, the land, then they looked at it for development and said, what is the comprehensive plan call for in terms of density? And then use that analysis to try to compare to population projections to kind of the both involved here. So it's kind of a tricky process, but we try to determine whether we have the capacity to meet the projected growth in the development areas. And so we get some feedback that will be, and I don't know, I think we'll have a lot of discussion on in the future. And we also had a very robust discussion of the transit vision plan, the possibilities for increased transit options. So, oh, and one last interesting item, I was mentioned, the Fluvanna Water and Sewer Authority authorization apparently expires in every 50 years, all of them are authorized, and somehow or other, they discovered with ultimately it's going to be a day ago that we need to reauthorize our authority and get them set. So Charles will need to do it. Just in time. Good to do. So that's it for now. Excellent. We got one other.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Galloway.
The only thing I would add is that early in May, our first meeting, I can't remember now, if that's before or after our meeting, but we did discuss affordable development as a policy for housing Albemarle, along with developer incentives to make that happen. Looks like the board will not be following the direction of affordable housing overlay, but instead look at an affordable unit program and then the incentives tied to it to make it work. So that eventually will be coming back to the board as we continue to work for our housing element. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Andrew Greene.
I really wanted to take a minute to thank David for his last report, which was pretty extensive about what's going on in the legislature. And in particular, it seems like House Bill 444 about the virtual ability to hold virtual meetings might be talked about as something, but I think they're talking about a little more one of these days might be cool.
Yeah, I have that. I actually put it up to myself to bring that to the August meeting because that doesn't kick in until September, so I can determine in August what the commission's directions on that.
Excellent. And I observed with Christine, we're trying to do a green approach to sustainability, and creating a lot of 100-mile drives is not really green. So there's some things that have happened that have allowed people to, and it's never going back. It's allowed people have been able to do things remotely, many more things. And so technology has grown and developed to support that. So I'm just throwing out that things are something.
Great. David, I'll have a couple questions for you to go back into this. Moving on to Tony, Fluvanna.
Pretty slow month, I would say, although some of the projects that we've been working on as far as economic development are starting to pay off. We have a project is in the public news right across from the main gate of the lake or right near there. There's going to be a potential supermarket slash restaurant slash some location service. So that's exciting to have that. And then regionally we have really throughout the county a lot of excitement and some deals that I can't talk about. But I can only say that one of those closed meeting sessions was one of the most exciting sessions I've had since being on the board. So
Oh, that's awesome.
That's always a nice thing, so hopefully I'll be bragging about those things in a few months.
Great. Awesome. Charlottesville, Michael.
Too much since the last time we met. I think some of the big things we discussed at our last meeting, we got joint meeting with the planning commission, we got an update about our smart scale VDOT projects. And we're doing a pretty big review of all of them, in addition to looking at how to hire the project managers, because we've had a lot of timeliness issues. That is rightly frustrated with the city at. So we're really looking at and revamping that process and figuring out how to prioritize a lot of those. Somewhat related to that, we're also revamping the city's permitting process as part of a bigger revamp of neighborhood development services. In fact, the city had to put out a press release a few days ago that for a variety of reasons, the city was accepting the building permits for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of systemic issues that the new director of NDS is looking into, a lot of work beginning and going on there. Other than that, not too much that's huge and new. Likewise, was on the regional transportation partnership call about the transit visions, which is really exciting to think about what the city needs to do to contribute to either of those visions. Other than that, can't think of much else that's new for us.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to Nelson County.
We finally kicked off our comprehensive plan update. Tuesday, we had our first joint session of the planning commission board. We took the project team from the Berkeley group, our consultant, on a tour pretty much all over Nelson County. It was a good day, got a lot of good information shared and at the meeting as well. Our website is live now in the www.nelson2042.com. That's the landing page for all information comprehensive plan related. All the documents will be updated. There's an idea wall where you can post ideas and make comments on those. We had a youth art challenge go out to all the schools before the end of the school, draw a picture, tell us what you want to see. So I've been very pleased with Berkeley group so far. So my working life has pretty much been totally absorbed by that lately. But really looking forward to getting started, and our public engagement sessions are going to be July 13th, July 20th, and August 3rd. So more details forthcoming.
Is the website idea, the work website? It's
Fantastic.
Really good. Yeah.
They built it.
I'm sure they will. Yes, I'm sure they are. You have a lot of interest in that.
Yeah, they, so Berkeley Group, all the planners that work for them, all come from local government backgrounds, and they have a lot of experience with rural localities. That was one of the reasons.
A lot of feedback from the public.
Not yet, just only that people want to stay interested and contribute. So we just had the first kickoff session. Didn't have a lot of public there. It was just a work session for the consultant to present the process and kind of go over, make sure we know what a comprehensive plan is, what it does, what it doesn't do. So at this point, people are just wanting to be involved. Once we get the stakeholder listening session, the public engagement session is scheduled.
And Dylan. Dylan's had work with me a lot in the last 2 weeks. Of course, it's been a very busy week for Nelson County. We have hired the county administrator, Andy Gary. So we've brought someone up from within. She will be the first female county administrator in our county's history. So we're very proud of that. She's from the area, and she's like gonna stay in Nelson County till the day she probably dies. So, she's Nelson County through and through, raised her kids there. She's been part of Nelson County for a number of decades, and of course, she outshined every other application we had. We had over 15 applications, and really in numerous areas. She still outshine many others who had an extra decade than she did. So we're very proud of that, very excited that moving into the comprehensive plan is going to be very big footprint for Nelson County as we design. We want to see ourselves. Hopefully that translates into zoning. That's my goal. And how we can define after that, get some teeth to your comprehensive plan. Internet is just thriving in Nelson County. You know, everyone has Netflix streaming pretty much single-handedly. We put out Dish Network and DirecTV probably. Cheap internet we got. Maybe one day you guys will be as covered as we are.
Ready to watch Stranger Things?
Yes. Yeah, I got things about that. I have. So we're really excited about that. Excited about the conference plan. Excited about new county administration. Nelson County is like almost like a whole new machine. With all of the changes we've had in the last couple of years. We recently did go into releasing contract for the acquisition of 300 some acres in the center of Nelson County. We hope to target that for many different things. One of those potentials is a rec facility with a target on childcare. It's obviously in rural localities, one of the biggest issues that we struggle with is childcare for folks after school and also for younger kids. So we're hoping we can target that with a swimming pool. Proud that we reduced every single tax rate we have, and we didn't even increase our TOT tax. And yet we still have upward mobility with our recurring revenue. Assuming the recession doesn't impact our meals and lodging so much. But other than that, it's great times in Nelson County. We're excited for the future. And I will say the bus tour, I have never been to more places in Nelson County in one day in my entire life. I've been to all the places, but I've never done them all in one day. So it was a
It's a long day.
5-hour round trip. Could have got to South Carolina. Other than that, that's all I have. Anybody, Mr. Blunt, I was going to ask you if you could give us an update on the budget. I know there was motions made, and something happened, and something about 4 ounces of marijuana made it decide the toilet paper.
Yeah, so finally, we have approved by the General Assembly state budget for both the last, 28 days of June and then the next 2 fiscal years. Not quite done yet. Most of the budget's communicated to the governor to approve it yesterday. The governor has 7 days to propose amendments. The General Assembly to very quickly come back into their special session convention again to consider any events that may be proposed to be acted on. So yeah, this is going to be late in the game, obviously, for approval of the next biennial budget, next fiscal year's budget. It's not might not be the latest you've seen. Back in the King administration, I think it was June the 25th or 29th. Down to the deadline. I appreciate not hearing from you all at the local government level during the spring about when is the General Assembly going to approve the budget. I mean, it seems like it's had to be, unfortunately, such a routine matter that they do not get the budget done on time. That you all have, over the years, got accustomed to just going out and doing what you need to do as this adoption of the budget, despite the state's inability to do so.
Sure. Well, they never did it.
But yeah, a lot of investment in K-12 education, health and human services, and mental health. I think that's also published the governor's, all the governor's tax relief that he was asking for. About 2/3 of it will be rebates that will be changed to the standard deduction. Grocery tax change only affected the state portion of the sales tax, so there's no impact on the local option 1% sales tax. And the money that's lost for K-12 education as a result of the state is supposed to be flowing back. Government says.
Thanks, sir. Any questions for David?
With the